Good morning. Myself, Dr. Vishwa Rajlal, Faculty of Biotechnology, Jamshedpur Women's College, Jamshedpur. Today, we will discuss about growth promoting bacteria in plants, part 2. In part 1, we have discussed about biological nitrogen fixation, and now we discuss biocontrol of phytopathogens and biofertilizers in this topic. So, the growth promoting activity of microorganisms and the biotechnology approaches are described with respect to the following aspects. First, biological nitrogen fixation, second, biocontrol of phytopathogens, and third is biofertilizers. So we will discuss first biocontrol of phytopathogens. Phytopathogens can drastically reduce the crop yield, which may be in the range of 25 to 100%. Chemical agents are commonly used to control them. This is associated with ill health effects on humans, beside environmental pollutions. There are certain bacteria that can lessen or prevent the deleterious effects of plant pathogens, fungi or bacteria, and thus they promote plant growth by indirect means. The important plant growth promoting substances are siderophorus, antibiotics, certain enzymes. So first, siderophorus. There are some bacteria in the soil that can synthesize a low molecular weight, 400 to 1000 daltons, iron binding peptides, collectively referred to as siderophores. Siderophores have high affinity to bind to iron in the soil and transport it to the microbial cell. This is required since iron is essential and cannot directly enter the bacteria due to a very low solubility. The growth promoting bacteria through siderophores can take up large quantities of iron from the soil and make it unavailable for the growth and extension of fungal pathogens. This is possible since the siderophores produced by fungi have a very low affinity when compared to siderophores of bacteria. There is no harm to the plant since they can grow at a much lower concentrations of iron in the soil. Next, antibiotics. Certain antibiotics produced by plant growth promoting bacteria can prevent the growth and proliferations of plant pathogens. Some of the antibiotics synthesized by Pseudomonas are agrocin 84, agrocin 434, herbicolin, etc. Next, enzymes. Certain enzymes. Certain plant growth promoting bacteria are capable of synthesizing some enzymes that can degrade fungal cell walls and lyse them. These enzymes include cythinase, B1, beta 1, 3, glucosinase, protease, and lipase. Next, biofertilizers. It is estimated that more than 100 million tons of fixed nitrogen are needed for global food productions. The use of chemical synthetic fertilizers is the common practice to increase crop yield. Beside the cost factor, the use of fertilizer is associated with environmental pollutions. Scientists are on a constant look for alternative cheap and environmental friendly source of nitrogen and other nutrients for plants. The terms biofertilizers is used to refer to the nutrient inputs of biological origin to support plant growth. This can be achieved by the addition of microbial inoculants as a source of biofertilizers. Biofertilizers broadly includes the following categories. First, symbiotic nitrogen fixers. Second, asymbiotic nitrogen fixer. Third, phosphate solubilizing bacteria. And fourth, organic fertilizer. First, symbiotic nitrogen fixers. The diazotrophic microorganisms are the symbiotic nitrogen fixers that serves as biofertilizers. Example, Rhizobium species and Bradyrhizobium species. The details on these bacteria with special reference to nitrogen fixation must be referred now. Many antigens are being made to genetically modify the symbiotic bacteria for improving nitrogen fixations. In this green manualing, it is a farming practice where in the leguminous plants which are benefited by the symbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria are prolonged into the soil and a non-leguminous crop is grown to take benefit from the already fixed nitrogen. Green manuring has been in practice in India for several centuries. It is a natural way of enriching the soil with nitrogen and minimizing the use of chemical fertilizers. Rhizobium species can fix about 50 to 150 kg nitrogen per hectare per annum. Next, asymbiotic nitrogen fixers. The asymbiotic nitrogen fixing bacteria can directly convert the gaseous nitrogen to nitrogen rich compounds. When these asymbiotic nitrogen fixers die, they enrich the soil with nitrogenous compound and thus serve as biofertilizers. Example, Azotobacter species and Azospirillum species. In this blue-green algae, cyanobacteria, blue-green algae multiply in water-lodging conditions. They can fix nitrogen in the form of organic compounds, protein amino acids. The terms algalizations is used to the process of cultivation of blue-green algae in this field as a source of biofertilizer. Blue-green algae, besides fixing nitrogen, accumulate biomass, which improves the physical properties of the soil. This is useful for reclamations of alkaline soils, besides providing partial tolerance to pesticides. Cyanobacteria are particularly useful for paddy fields. The most common blue-green algae are Azobacter species and Azospirillum species. Next, we come to a phosphate solubilizing bacteria. Certain bacteria, example Bacillus, are capable of converting non-available inorganic phosphorus present in the soil to utilizable form of phosphate. This bacteria can also produce siderophores, which slates with iron and makes it unable to pathogenic bacteria. Thus, besides making phosphate available, the plants are protected from disease causing microorganisms. In this, mycorrhiza are the fungus roots. Example, Glomus species with distinct morphological structure. They are developed as a result of mutual symbiosis between certain root-inhibiting fungi and plant roots. Mycorrhizas are formed in plants which are limited with nutrient supply. This plant may be herbs, shrubs, and trees. For the development of mycorrhizas, the fungus may be located on the root surface or inside the root. In recent years, an artificial produced inoculum of mycorrhizal fungi is used in crop fields. This practice improves plant growth and yield besides providing resistance against biotic and abiotic stress. Next, organic fertilizers. These are several organic waste which are useful as fertilizers. This include animal dung, urine, urban garbage, sewage, crop residues and oil cakes. A majority of this waste remains unutilized as organic fertilizers. There exists a good potential for the development of organic manure from this waste. Next, benefits of biofertilizers. Low cost and easy to produce. Small farmers are immensely benefited. Next, fertility of the soil is increased. year after year. Third, free from environmental pollutions. Fourth, biofertilizers improve the tolerance of plants against toxic heavy metals. Limitations of biofertilizers. Biofertilizers cannot meet the total needs of the plant for nutrient supply. And lastly, they cannot produce spectacular results as in the case with synthetic fertilizers. So this is the overall about biocontrol of phytopathogens and biofertilizers. Thank you.